Hi, welcome to Rusty Lace Draws. So I made a comic, my first ever comic, and I don't have any kind of art background. I took art classes in high school where I did the painting and collage. We did all kinds of stuff because my art teacher in elementary school she was really cool. And she went through all the different mediums. We even did loom over the summer. But anyway, none of that really applied to trying to draw people and figure out how to make a comic. So this was all pretty new for me. I have done a little bit of character drawing over the past few years, but nothing really big. So I started the comic from an idea where I was thinking about how money kind of just disappears. It just flows right out of your hand sometimes. And just like, where'd my money go? So it made me think, what if money was made out of helium? It would be so absurd. So I wrote it down probably a few years ago. And, well, now I finally got to making the comic, so that's pretty cool. It's not an idea I was attached to, so I thought that was a pretty good choice. It was just kind of a silly thing that popped in my head. So, pardon the shifting of angles. I'm trying to hold it with my hand and look at my notes, and that's not working out so well. Okay, so I started the helium comic by writing down my general idea for the story. Not that there's much story. So I wrote it out, and then I tried to think, okay, what would be the first scene? So the guy walking up is the first scene. And I tried to sketch that out and then think of the next scene, and so on and so on. And that was the hardest part. Not figuring out what to put in each scene, but more so trying to figure out if I should, how much should I draw in this rough? Because I want it to be where I can then go back in and fill in the details, put in the face, and so on. But it's not that easy to put in the body structure and have it look nice. So then I'm constantly going, oh, this looks awful. And then trying to redo it. But the rough draft felt like it took the longest. It was frustrating. But once I got about halfway through and I figured out how to kind of rough out the different characters, it got a lot easier. It was starting to flow. And then once that was over, I started with the trying to flesh them out. And I had been working on sort of deciding on what I wanted each character to look like. So in my daily drawing, I had done a few where I sketched out this little bald guy and this more skinny, pointy guy. And before I started the drawing in their faces, I did one of those. I drew not a full turnaround, but a 3/4 front and half view of both the characters. And then I started doing the fleshing out, which is the one that took the longest. It took way longer than I thought it did because it was fairly fun. I also got my kids to be the reference photos for me, which was a lot of fun because they were being goofs, of course. And when it came to doing the body, because I haven't done a lot of practice on bodies, I've mostly been working on faces. That part was a little difficult. That's why I really needed the references to figure it out, because it wasn't going well trying to just take it out of my brain. So then after the refining was done, I started inking. And I started with the cupcakes, which was a good idea because the cupcakes have kind of been a way to be doing something that's really low pressure. So then I can kind of relax into it and then move on to something more important, like the people. The problem with the cupcakes was that there were a lot of cupcakes, and it did add up a lot of time. I wish I wrote down the time for just the cupcakes because it probably took a few hours. So with the inking was probably one of the more stressful parts. The rough draft was frustrating, but it wasn't really stressful. It was more like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Whereas inking was, oh, that was a bad stroke. And like, you can't undo it. So you just gotta let it go. And I guess it's practice. It's practice in moving on. You did it. It's done. Move on. And then it was done. And then I got to erase everything, which is kind of the nice part, because then it's like, ooh, it's clean. Well, mostly clean. Sharp ink lines. Final thoughts. I'm very glad that I picked an idea I wasn't very attached to. I didn't have any real idea of what the characters would be. And the stakes were very low. The stakes were low, so I didn't have some big thing I was trying to reach. And that made it a lot easier to go, well, this is good. I'm getting the idea across, which is all it is. It's just a silly. It took me this long to draw the whole thing, but I only worked on it for about up to about 2 hours, but down to about 15 minutes a day, because I have 4 kids, and well, sometimes they get up early. And it doesn't matter if I get up really early or not. Sometimes they just wake up and then my time is over. So anyone can find the time, even if it's just 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Maybe not 5 minutes. That's a little short. But you could try. In the end, I hope this helps somebody work up the courage to do it, whatever that thing is that you want to do, because from what I've found, we just gotta do it, which is kind of irritating. But that's the way it is. Sorry for the crazy change in light. I'm not, I'll have to figure something else out for future videos. But I hope you enjoyed watching the process, and thank you for watching.